Have you ever felt like people treat you differently as you get older? You might have noticed that some friends slowly drift away, family members become less patient, or even strangers seem less friendly than they used to be. It can be frustrating, even painful, to feel like you're being pushed aside, especially when you know you still have so much to offer. But what if I told you that some of this might not be just about them, but about you too? The reality is, certain habits and behaviors, often unintentional, can create distance between you and the people around you. And, over time, these small patterns can add up, causing others to pull away without you even realizing why. In this video, we're going to talk about 6 things that can make people start resenting you after 70. These are subtle but powerful behaviors that can change the way others see you and affect the quality of your relationships. The good news is, once you become aware of them, you can start making adjustments that will help strengthen your connections, encourage meaningful conversations, and ensure that you continue to be someone others truly enjoy being around. So, stay with me until the end, because understanding these 6 things could make all the difference in how people perceive you, how they interact with you, and how much love, respect, and appreciation you continue to receive as you age. This isn't about changing who you are or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about making small but meaningful shifts that allow you to bring out the best version of yourself. Number 1. Becoming too negative about everything. One of the fastest ways to push people away, without even realizing it, is by falling into a habit of constant negativity. Life isn't always easy, and by the time you reach your 70s, you've likely experienced your fair share of hardships, health struggles, financial difficulties, disappointments with family or society. These challenges are real, and your frustrations about them are completely valid. However, when every conversation revolves around complaints and frustrations, people eventually stop wanting to engage. Negativity doesn't just affect you, it affects the people around you as well. If every visit with your children turns into a discussion about how much the world has changed for the worse, or if every conversation with a friend becomes a session about everything that's wrong with society, people start to associate your presence with frustration rather than joy. It's not that people don't care about your struggles or that they expect you to be cheerful all the time, but when negativity becomes the dominant theme in your interactions, it can be emotionally exhausting for those around you. Think about it. Do you enjoy spending time with someone who only focuses on what's wrong? Probably not, and others feel the same way. No one is suggesting that you suppress your emotions or pretend that life is perfect. But striking a balance between expressing frustrations and acknowledging the good in life can make a significant difference in how people respond to you. Even small moments of gratitude, curiosity, or humor can help shift the tone of a conversation and make interactions more enjoyable for everyone involved. So, what can you do instead? Start by paying closer attention to your words. If you notice yourself leading with complaints, pause for a moment and ask yourself, is this the kind of energy I want to bring into this conversation? Instead of focusing on what's going wrong, try shifting the discussion to something neutral or positive. It doesn't have to be anything grand. Even sharing a funny story, an interesting fact you recently learned, or a kind word about someone can make a huge difference in how people feel when they talk to you. At the end of the day, people don't avoid you because they don't care about you. More often than not, they distance themselves because they don't want to leave a conversation feeling worse than when they started. A little self-awareness can go a long way in ensuring that when people interact with you, they leave feeling uplifted, not emotionally drained. Number 2. Giving unwanted advice or criticism. As you get older, you've gained a lifetime of wisdom. You've seen trends come and go, watched people make mistakes, and learned lessons the hard way. Naturally, you want to help others avoid the same pitfalls, but here's where things get tricky. If your advice isn't asked for, it can come across as judgment rather than guidance. This is especially true with younger family members. You might see your adult children or grandchildren making what you believe are obvious mistakes, whether it's how they handle money, raise their kids, or live their lives. And when you step in to correct them, even with the best intentions, they often hear it as criticism, not concern. It's not just family. This happens in friendships too. Telling a friend they should eat healthier, stop wasting money, or get out more might feel like you're helping. But to them, it can feel like an attack. No one likes to feel like they're being lectured, even if the advice is good. And when people start associating conversations with you as being full of corrections and critiques, they begin pulling away. So what should you do instead? Wait until you're asked. If someone genuinely wants your advice, they will ask for it, and if they don't, it's often best to let them figure things out on their own. This doesn't mean you can't ever share your thoughts. It just means doing it in a way that respects their independence. A simple rule: ask before advising. Instead of saying, "You really shouldn't be eating that," try, "Are you interested in some tips I've learned about healthy eating?" If they say yes, share. If they say no, let it go. It's a small shift, but it can make a huge difference in how people perceive you. The bottom line: people don't avoid advice because they don't care. They avoid it because they don't want to feel judged. When you offer guidance in a way that respects their choices, you become a trusted voice, not a source of frustration. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 3. Resisting change. Instead of embracing it. The world is constantly evolving. New ideas, new technology, and shifting social norms are an inevitable part of life. Yet, as people age, one of the most common mistakes they make is resisting these changes rather than learning to adapt. It's a natural reaction. After decades of living a certain way, it can be unsettling to see familiar traditions, values, and ways of doing things fade into the background. However, when you reject change outright, conversations with you can start to feel more like debates than meaningful interactions. This resistance can manifest in many ways. Perhaps you find yourself frequently saying, "Things were better in my day," whenever a younger person expresses excitement about something new. Maybe you dismiss modern technology as unnecessary, even though it's now the primary way people communicate and stay connected. Or you struggle to accept evolving social norms, making it difficult to relate to younger generations. But here's the truth: change is happening, whether you embrace it or not. And when others feel that every conversation turns into a discussion about why the past was better, they may slowly start to distance themselves, not out of a lack of respect, but because the interactions feel draining rather than enjoyable. Consider technology as an example. Yes, it can be frustrating to learn new devices, apps, or digital communication styles, but refusing to engage with them only makes it harder for others to include you in their lives. Your grandchildren may prefer texting over phone calls, and your friends may organize gatherings through social media rather than calling individually. If you choose not to adapt, you risk becoming more isolated, not because people don't care, but because they don't know how to keep you involved. So, how can you stay connected? Keep an open mind. No one expects you to love every new trend or become an expert in modern technology, but showing curiosity instead of resistance can make a significant difference. Instead of saying, "That's ridiculous, I don't understand it," try asking, "That's interesting, how does it work?" A small shift in attitude can turn frustrating conversations into opportunities for connection and learning. At the end of the day, people don't expect you to embrace every change, but they do appreciate when you approach the world with curiosity rather than dismissal. Being open to new ideas not only strengthens your relationships but also ensures that you remain an active and valued part of the ever-changing world around you. Number 4. Expecting too much from others without giving back. Being open to new things keeps your mind sharp, your relationships strong, and your connection to the world alive. Now, let's talk about something that can really create resentment: expecting too much from others without giving back. One of the biggest sources of resentment in relationships, whether with family, friends, or even neighbors, is when one person constantly takes without giving anything in return. Unfortunately, this can become more common as people age. You might not even realize you're doing it, but if you expect others to always accommodate your needs without considering theirs, it can slowly push people away. This happens in different ways. Maybe you expect your children or grandchildren to call you first, visit you regularly, or help with errands without showing much appreciation. Maybe you rely on a friend for emotional support but rarely ask how they're doing. Or maybe you assume that younger family members should drop everything to help you because that's what family does. Here's the problem. People don't mind helping when they feel valued. But when they start to feel like they're being used or taken for granted, they begin to pull away. And when that happens, it's easy to feel abandoned without realizing that the pattern started with unrealistic expectations. Now, does this mean you should never ask for help? Of course not. But relationships are a two-way street, and even as you get older, you still have something to give. A kind word, a thoughtful question, or a simple "thank you" can go a long way in making people feel appreciated. Small gestures matter. So what should you do instead? Check in with yourself. If you notice you're always the one receiving but not giving, find ways to show gratitude and contribute. Even something as simple as sending a thoughtful message, remembering birthdays, or listening with genuine interest can make people feel valued instead of obligated. The bottom line: people are happy to be there for you when they feel respected and appreciated. But when they start to feel like they're just fulfilling an obligation, that's when they begin pulling away. A little effort to show gratitude and give back, no matter how small, keeps relationships strong and genuine. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 5. Bringing up the past. Too often, memories are a beautiful thing. They remind us of the people we've loved, the experiences we've had, and the lessons we've learned. But one mistake many people make as they get older is getting stuck in the past to the point where it affects how others see them. This happens when conversations always circle back to the good old days, or when every story you tell is one that people have already heard multiple times. It's easy to fall into this habit. It feels natural to share experiences that shaped you, and reminiscing can bring comfort. But when every conversation is rooted in the past, people start to feel like they can't connect with you in the present. Think about how this comes across to younger people. If every time they talk about their lives they're met with, "Back in my day, we did things differently," or "You kids don't understand how hard it used to be," it can feel like a barrier rather than a conversation. It makes them feel like their experiences aren't valid, because they didn't live through what you did. It's not just about younger people either. Even friends your age might get frustrated if the same stories are told again and again. Over time, this can make conversations feel repetitive, predictable, and frankly, less engaging. So what should you do instead? Balance the past with the present. Share stories, but also show interest in what's happening now. Instead of just telling a memory, ask others about their lives. If you find yourself repeating a story, pause and ask yourself if the moment calls for it. And, most importantly, be open to creating new experiences instead of only reliving old ones. The bottom line: memories are meant to be cherished, not to replace the present. People want to feel connected to you today, not just to who you were years ago. By showing interest in the present and in the people around you, you keep relationships strong and conversations meaningful. Now, let's talk about something that can create serious tension: not respecting boundaries and personal space. Number 6. Not respecting boundaries and personal space. As we get older, our relationships with family, friends, and even neighbors evolve. But one thing that never changes is that people, no matter their age, need their personal space and boundaries respected. Unfortunately, one of the biggest mistakes people make in their later years is assuming that their presence, opinions, or needs should always take priority simply because they're older. This can show up in different ways. Maybe you expect family members to answer the phone immediately every time you call, and if they don't, you feel ignored. Maybe you drop by someone's house unannounced, assuming they'll be happy to see you, without considering that they might be busy. Or maybe you feel entitled to know details about someone's life, who they're dating, how they're spending money, what decisions they're making, without recognizing that they have the right to privacy. People may not say it out loud, but when they feel like their boundaries are being ignored, they start creating distance. They may call less, invite you over less often, or share less about their lives. And if you don't recognize this pattern, it's easy to mistake their withdrawal for neglect when, in reality, they're just trying to maintain their own space. Another way this happens is through emotional boundaries. If you regularly unload your frustrations, grief, or loneliness on the same person without considering how it affects them, they may start avoiding conversations. Everyone has their own struggles, and while it's important to express emotions, it's also important to make space for other people's feelings too. So, what should you do instead? Be mindful. If someone seems hesitant to talk, ask yourself if you're giving them enough room to breathe. If you're constantly pushing for attention, ask yourself if you're respecting their time and responsibilities. And if someone sets a boundary, whether it's about visits, conversations, or personal matters, respect it without taking it personally. The bottom line: strong relationships are built on mutual respect. When people feel like their boundaries are honored, they feel more comfortable, more willing to connect, and more likely to keep you as an important part of their lives. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Final thoughts. Growing older doesn't mean losing the people around you, but sometimes, without realizing it, certain habits can create distance. The good news is that awareness gives you the power to change things for the better. We've explored how constant negativity, giving unsolicited advice, resisting change, expecting too much from others, dwelling on the past, and not respecting boundaries can gradually push people away. These behaviors don't make someone a bad person, but over time, they can lead to frustration and resentment. The moment you recognize these patterns, you can start making small adjustments that strengthen relationships rather than weaken them. The key takeaway is this: meaningful connections are built on respect, appreciation, and balance. People naturally gravitate toward those who uplift, listen, and make them feel valued. And no matter your age, you have the ability to be that person. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 6 points resonated with you the most? Have you ever noticed someone pulling away and now understand why? Share your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone, and your experiences might provide valuable insight to others facing similar challenges. Thank you for spending time with us today. We truly appreciate your engagement, so let us know one thing you learned from this discussion and how you plan to apply it. Your words matter, and reading your comments gives us motivation and encouragement to keep creating content that informs and inspires. If you found this video helpful, consider liking, subscribing, and sharing it with others who may benefit from it. Your support allows us to continue producing meaningful content. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.